Hey guys, today I finally have the review of the Arteza stuff that I was sent recently. Firstly, I wanted to thank Arteza for reaching out to me again and sending me this stuff. They're honestly so enjoyable to work with. The first packages I received were a little damaged. The packaging on both the stretched canvas and the box for the oil paint were both ripped. The actual products weren't hurt at all though. Also, the paintbrushes were shipped separately, which was strange because I was only sent one tracking number and I wasn't sure if my order was just missing stuff or what. When I reached out to Arteza though, they immediately sent replacements to me. These were also shipped separately and only got one tracking number. So I'm not sure if maybe their system only allows for one or what, but that was pretty frustrating. Because when my replacement package arrived, it was only half of my order. Later I found out that my apartment complex had the other box all along. But while trying to find out what happened to my package, I messaged Arteza again, and they offered to resend my entire order all over again. The customer service for this company is seriously amazing. This is my second time reviewing Arteza products. Last time I was sent their gouache, their watercolor, and their watercolor paper pads, and I'm still using both the paper and the gouache pretty much daily. This time around I received their 16 by 20 inch stretched canvas, their 5 by 7 inch canvas panels, a miniature brush set, and their oil color set of 24. Although Arteza sent me these products for free, all of the thoughts and opinions I'll be sharing are my own, and I will always be honest about how I feel about something. I'm going to start with what I thought about the paint because I probably have the most to say about them. So right out of the tube, the paints already have a really nice consistency. They're really creamy and spread nicely. A few of the colors were a little oily, most noticeably the burnt umber. This didn't really bother me too much, but it did make it a little difficult to get an even layer of that color. Just like the gouache, the colors are super vibrant and bright. They come in a set of 24 and were listed for $26.99 when I ordered mine. The colors included were pretty nice, but I honestly didn't see a need to include the gold and silver. I probably would have been just fine with an 18-pack set instead of 24. For transparency, each of the tubes are labeled with a square to show how opaque they are. Transparent colors are marked with an empty square. Semi-opaque colors are marked with a square halfway filled. And opaque colors are marked with a completely filled in square. The pigments are listed under the square. For lightfastness, all but two of the tubes are marked with 3+ signs. The American Society of Testing and Materials rates paints as 1, 2, and 3 for the resistance to fading in daylight or lightfastness, with 1 being the most resistant. Van Gogh's ratings are 3+ signs and 2+ signs, with 3+ signs being the highest degree of lightfastness, and 2+ signs being what the company considers normal degree of lightfastness. So with my limited knowledge, I'm not 100% sure if they're supposed to be really light fast or average light fast. As far as drying time, I felt like it was really slow, but keep in mind that I normally work with watercolor and gouache. It took about 3 days for all of my swatches to dry. A few were dry after the second day, but just to be safe, I waited 3 days each time between layers. I think in the future I'll end up investing in a fast drying medium to speed up the process a little bit. Because of the slow drying time and the paint's consistency, blending was super easy. I pretty much started blending right away when I did my swatches. And even with almost no experience with oil paint, it was fairly easy to blend each color out to white. After I finished recording my swatches, I even experimented with blending from yellow to dark green and from red to dark purple, and mixed up a bunch of skin tones. It was a really enjoyable experience. The tubes feel pretty sturdy, so I don't think I'll ever accidentally break any of them open. I don't love the little paper label like strips on the tops of the tubes though. I'm a little worried that they could fall off at some point. I also don't really like the lids, but I haven't noticed any leaking or anything. I just feel like they might be a little hard to open in the future. I don't have a whole lot to say about the canvases. The 16 by 20 inch stretched ones come in a pack of 6 for $33.41 when I ordered. That makes them less than $6 a piece, which seems to be really cheap. They're made with 8-ounce cotton canvas primed with acid-free acrylic gesso. The listing says they're made for light paint applications, practice, studies, and class projects. And I think they're perfectly suited for that. After a little research, I found that Arteza has a blog post about picking the right canvas, which says higher weight usually equals better quality. It recommends 12 to 15 ounces as the ideal weight and recommends avoiding anything less than 8 ounces. Based on that, I would say that you would need something a bit heavier for more professional work. I found some 12-ounce stretch canvas on Blick for about $20. The 5x7 inch panels came in a pack of 14. They were $12.87, which is about 92 cents each. They're also 8-ounce primed cotton canvas. Both the stretched canvas and the panels had a really nice texture and felt really sturdy. I really liked painting on them. And last but not least is the paintbrushes. They came in a set of 15 and were listed for $14.54. First, I wanted to mention that the listing says 5 liners, 5 rounds, and 5 flats, and that's not what I got. Instead of 5 flats, there were 5 spots. After looking it up, I found spotter brushes are meant to be used for fine detailing, tiny stroke work. They're basically round brushes, but with extra short length of the bristles. Personally, I would have rather had the flats. The 04 spot is probably the only one that's really even that different from the round brush of the same size. But the bristles are firm and spring back well, and none have fallen out while painting. I've been using them for about a month now with watercolors, gouache, and oil, and so far they're holding up pretty well against my abuse. There's a few with stray bristles, and I don't think they'll last as long as my Artist Loft ones have. But these are a little cheaper, come in smaller sizes, and in a bigger set, and they feel like really good quality. The handles have a thick coat of paint and feel really good. For some reason they are a bit short though, probably at least half an inch shorter than all of my other brushes I own. It's not really a bad thing, but it is something I noticed right away. When I picked them up, they felt really small. I really love the liners though, and I will probably continue to use all of these brushes for as long as I can. To wrap up, I have a few questions that my followers on Instagram sent me. The first one is, are they good for someone who's never tried oils before? Are they cheaper? I think they'd be a really good option to start out with. One thing I will mention is that I've already almost completely used up the tube of white. So if you were to get the set, I would recommend getting yourself a bigger tube of white as well. Other than that, I really enjoyed working with them. They have a pretty similar color selection to the set of gouache that I have, which was really nice for mixing colors for me. If you don't need all the colors, there's some beginner sets that you could get besides this. Winsor & Newton has a introductory set listed for $15 on Blick, which comes with 6 colors that are 21 milliliters. Second question is, do they last a long time? 12 milliliters doesn't really seem like much, to be honest. Like I said before, I'm already low on white, so you would probably want at least a 37ml tube for white, because like gouache, you use a lot of it. Besides that, the only tube I've even made a dent in is the cobalt violet, so I don't think I'll be running out of most of the colors for quite a while. Next question is, how blendable is it? They blend really well and really easily. That's probably my favorite part about these paints, and what will make me want to keep using them consistently and actually properly learn how to use oil paint. Overall, I really like everything that was sent to me, and I'm excited to share more oil painting stuff with you in the future. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. Thanks again to Arteza for sending me this stuff and for working with so many different artists. I will see you guys soon for the next video. Bye!